What if I told you that the TSA can look through your phone at the airport, and most people have something on theirs that could get them in serious trouble? You think your phone is private, but at the security checkpoint, that changes in an instant. Have you ever wondered what happens if your phone gets flagged? What if your vacation, or worse, your freedom, depends on what's in your device right now? Let's get real. Airport security isn't just looking for weapons anymore. They're scanning for information, photos, messages, and even apps that could raise red flags. But here's the thing. Most people have no idea what's actually at risk when they walk through that body scanner with their phone in their pocket. So, what can you do about it? Stick with me for the next 8 minutes. I'm about to reveal the 4 things you absolutely need to delete from your phone before every flight. If you don't, you might not get through security, or you could face questions you never expected. Let's jump in. Why TSA is actually checking your phone. Let's set the record straight. A few years ago, airport security was all about your shoes and your liquids. Not anymore. Today, TSA agents have the tools and the authority to check your phone. Why? Because your device holds way more than just your contacts. It's got your emails, messages, photos, even your location history. And guess what? If they see something suspicious, even by accident, they're required to ask questions. But here's the twist. Most travelers have stuff on their phones they wouldn't want anyone to see. And that's where the trouble starts. What if a single message or photo sets off an alarm? Let's break down exactly why your phone is now part of the security check. All right, let's clear up a common myth. TSA agents can't just scroll through your entire phone gallery for fun, but that doesn't mean they can't see anything. Here's the truth. When you go through the checkpoint, TSA can ask to unlock your device. If you refuse, things might get complicated. Sometimes they'll just let you go, but sometimes you could be delayed or even denied boarding. If they do look, they're mainly searching for messages that mention weapons, explosives, or threats, photos of restricted items like guns or fake IDs, apps linked to terrorism or criminal activity. But here's the catch. Even innocent things can look suspicious out of context. A joke text about blowing up the airport, that could get you stopped fast. And here's something you might not know. Even if you use a passcode or biometrics, TSA can sometimes ask you to unlock your device, especially if the scanner flags something unusual. But what if you don't want them seeing your private stuff? That's where preparation comes in. And that brings us to the first thing you should delete before you fly. Ready to find out what that is? 1. Sensitive messages and chats. Let's get straight to it. Number 1 on the list, delete or archive any sensitive messages and chats. Think about it. Your phone is full of texts, some of them harmless, some not so much. Maybe you joked about blowing up a cake for your birthday, or you sent a meme about a bomb in your lunch. Innocent to you, but to an airport agent? Red flag. TSA agents are trained to look for certain keywords, even if they're used in a totally normal way. If your chat history gets pulled up and they spot words like bomb, gun, or explosive, you're going to get questioned. That's just how it works. And here's the real kicker. Even deleted messages can sometimes be recovered from your phone unless you permanently wipe them or use secure delete apps. So before your next flight, go through your texts. Archive or permanently delete anything that could be misinterpreted, because the last thing you want is to be stuck at the airport explaining a bad joke. But messages aren't the only risk. There's something else lurking on your phone that can get you stopped cold. What could that be? 2. Suspicious or unfamiliar apps. All right, you've cleaned up your messages, but what about your apps? Let's be real. How many apps do you actually use on your phone? And how many have you downloaded and forgotten about? TSA agents look for apps that could be linked to illegal activity. That includes file sharing or torrent apps, apps that hide or encrypt files, VPNs that mask your location. Sometimes these are flagged as suspicious. Even some travel or news apps that have odd permissions. If you have an app that's not commonly used or one that could look shady, delete it before you fly. Not only does this reduce your risk, but it also makes your phone look less suspicious to agents who don't know the difference. And here's a pro tip. If you use cloud storage or photo backup apps, make sure you deleted any photos or documents from your device that are also stored in the cloud. Sometimes, even if you delete a file locally, agents can still see traces of it if it's backed up. Don't think TSA only looks at what's on your home screen. They dig deeper. So do a quick audit of your apps and get rid of anything you don't need. But wait, there's a third thing that travelers almost always forget about, and it could be the one thing that gets you held up at security. What is it? 3. Questionable photos or videos. Let's talk about photos and videos. You probably have hundreds of them on your phone, but not all of them are innocent in the eyes of airport security. Here's what TSA looks for. Pictures of weapons, even if they're just for fun or memes. Images that look like official documents, IDs, badges, or even receipts that could be mistaken for something else. Anything that could be interpreted as a threat, even if it's just a joke. Think about it. A selfie with a toy gun, a funny picture of a bomb cupcake, a screenshot of a boarding pass that's been edited. To you, it's harmless. To TSA, it could be a headache or worse. Before you fly, go through your camera roll and delete anything that could be misunderstood. It only takes a few minutes, but it could save you a world of trouble at the checkpoint. And here's another tip. If you use apps like Google Photos or iCloud that automatically back up your pictures, make sure you delete those photos from your cloud storage too. Because sometimes, even if you delete them from your phone, agents can see the backups if they ask for access. So do a quick sweep. Keep only the photos and videos you'd be okay showing to a stranger. But wait, there's still one more thing most people forget about, and it could be the most surprising of all. Ready to find out? 4. Old files and sensitive notes. Now, let's get to the fourth and final item, something a lot of people don't even think about. We're talking about old files and notes. Maybe it's a document you saved from a friend, a note about a secret surprise party, or even a random download you never opened. Files can include PDFs, Word docs, or spreadsheets with names, addresses, or codes, notes with sensitive information, passwords, account numbers, or travel plans, downloaded attachments that you never deleted. Here's why it matters. TSA agents can ask to see anything on your phone if they're suspicious, and if they see a file with flight plan or security in the title, or a note that looks like a code, you could get pulled aside for a long, uncomfortable chat. Even if you trust airport staff, you don't control who handles your device if it's flagged. So before you fly, do a quick scan of your downloads, documents, and notes apps. Delete anything that's not strictly necessary for your trip. And here's a pro tip. If you use password managers or banking apps, make sure you log out or use a guest mode if possible. That way, even if someone glances at your phone, they won't have easy access to your sensitive info. So now you know the 4 things to delete before every flight. But here's the real question. What happens if you forget just one of these? Let's talk about what could really go wrong if you don't take these steps. Let's get real for a second. You might think, it's just my phone, what's the worst that could happen? But the truth is, airport security takes even the smallest red flags seriously. If TSA finds something questionable, you could be delayed for hours while they investigate, get questioned by law enforcement, even be denied boarding and miss your entire trip. And in rare cases, repeated or serious issues could show up on your record, making future travel more difficult. You don't want to be that person stuck at the airport explaining why you have a meme about bombs in your texts. So take 5 minutes before you leave for the airport and clean up your phone. It's a small hassle that could save you a huge headache. But wait, there's one last twist you might not have considered. Think you're safe after deleting those 4 things? Here's the catch. Even after you clear your phone, airport security can still access data if it's backed up elsewhere, like in the cloud or on your laptop. So before you fly, don't forget to check your backups too, because the last thing you want is to think you're clear, only to get stopped at the gate. Don't let your next trip start with a nightmare. And remember, airport security isn't just looking for trouble, they're looking for patterns. But one innocent-looking phone could be all it takes for your vacation to turn into a disaster. Stay smart, stay prepared, and next time before you head to the airport, make sure your phone is truly flight-ready. But what happens if, despite all this, your phone still gets flagged? That's a story for another video. See you at the next gate.